Talha Kose, Political and International Relations Professor from Istanbul Sehir University, is with me now in the studio. Thank you very much for joining us. So what are you expecting from this extraordinary session in the Parliament?
I think Turkish Parliament will authorize Turkish government to involve extraterritorial involvement when Turkey's national security is under threat. So the strength of the support and the unity is an important sign for international actors, especially Turkey's Barzani and Kurdish regional government. If there are any problems, if there are tensions, Turkey will be involved in cross-border activities, and this may include military involvement as well.
And after the National Security Council meeting, Turkey said this is a threat to its domestic security. So other measures could be taken and they can be implemented. Do you think it would be the last option, military intervention, or are we expecting other sanctions first?
I think Turkey's unitary involvement as military action is the last action. So Turkey may use some other measures before that. And also most important thing is to support at the same time Iraqi central government to control its territories, to help them, and at the same time create some kind of cooperation between Iran, other regional actors, to prevent a split of Iraq through these lines. So Turkey has many other options. So in economic areas, there's deep involvement, deep cooperation between the regional government and Turkey. Turkey has some political influence in the region, and in the past 10 years we know that Turkey has supported politically and socially Kurds of Iraq. So even removing the help, removing the aid from Erbil will be a very important loss for the regional government.
And how much of an effect will that economically have?
I think the two things are important. So first one is the trade between Turkey and Kurdistan regional government, and the second major thing is the pipelines. So the other thing is that the investment of the Turkish business community in that part of the Iraq is very important. So if Turkish government stands strongly against this kind of investment, I think they will hardly survive without the support of the Iraqi central government. So Turkey may lack economic activities in that region, and this will really affect the daily life in that part of the Iraq.
And can we expect Ankara to work closer with the government of Baghdad when it comes to this issue from now on?
Yes, I mean, it seems that in the past we didn't experience close military cooperation between Baghdad and Turkey, but for the last couple of weeks they started to talk, and General Head of Iraqi Army General Staff visited Ankara, and I think there will be visits from Ankara to Baghdad as well. So I think this military cooperation is very important. We know that in the last couple of months Baghdad was mostly involved in fight against the Daesh, and this, I think, if there is some kind of military tensions in this contested territories like Kirkuk, Turkey may be involved in cooperation with the Iraqi central government, and also increase its support for the Iraqi central government's fight against the Daesh. So the options may be, some military aid and some further cooperation, and Iran may also be part of this cooperation.
And Turkey said if this military intervention goes ahead and the motion is passed, this is an international legally framework. Mm-hmm. So how is that? Maybe we should go into the Ankara Agreement in that sense, right?
Yeah, I mean, Ankara Agreement, Turkey's border with Iraq has been established with the Ankara Agreement. So emergence of an alternative authority in that part is violation of Turkey's borders and agreements that establish Turkey's borders with Iraq. So according to Turkey, it's completely unacceptable because it also means as the authority in Turkey's border changes, the agreement also changed. It is legally valid for Turkey to work, for maintaining the status quo in terms of its territories and borders with Iraq. So it's a sensitive issue because the changing the status quo in terms of the borders is a sensitive issue. We don't know to what extent this new emergence of a new authority in Turkey's borders will be committed to this agreement with Turkey. So if, definitely this referendum does not necessarily mean the independence of another political entity in northern Iraq, but if there are some violations in terms of Turkey's territories, Turkey will use its rights internationally according to international law and protect its territories. And I think there's enough legal evidence for legal ground for Turkey's involvement in that matter.
Well, the parliamentary session is still underway. We'll be watching closely. Thank you very much, Talha Kose, for joining us here in the studio.